Welcome to our online class, Class 8, Subject Science. Today, in this session, in Unit 5, we are going to see two different topics. One will be the Thomson's atomic model and the second topic is valency. So, in your last class itself, you have learnt the structure of an atom, right? And the structure of an atom have been given by various scientists. So today we are going to see a famous scientist who have given his views or who have given his ideas regarding the structure of an atom. So J.J. Thomson, he is an English scientist, proposed the famous atom model in the year 1904, just after the discovery of electrons. So according to J.J. Thomson, the atomic structure will be in a spherical shape, or the shape of an atom is spherical in nature, which do have a radius of about 10 power minus 10 meter, and the positively charged particles are uniformly distributed with the electrons arranged in such a manner that the atom is electrically neutral. And you all know the fundamental particles of an atom. So can you remember what are all the fundamental particles of an atom? Yeah, that is proton, electron and neutron. So in an atom we will be having all these fundamental particles, right? That is proton, electron and neutron will be there in an atom. So according to Thomson, the shape of an atom will be sphere and the positively charged particles are uniformly distributed with the electrons arranged in a manner that the atom is electrically neutral. And then he does compare, or Thomson compared his structure of an atom with respect to the watermelon. So it is also known as watermelon model, or it is also known as plum pudding model. The embedded electrons resembled the seed of watermelon, while the watermelon's red mass represented the positive charge distribution. So according to Thomson, I think in the picture itself you can able to see here the red color portion will be there, and you may able to see the seeds of a watermelon. So according to Thomson, we can able to say that the electrons resemble the seed of a watermelon. So according to Thomson, the seed of watermelon are said to be the electrons in an atom, and the red color portion in a watermelon is said to be the positively charged particles, that is said to be proton. And the plum pudding atomic theory assumed that the mass of an atom is uniformly distributed all over the atom. Now let us move into the limitations of Thomson's atomic model. So according to Thomson's model, it is failed to explain how the negatively charged electrons without getting neutralized. So Thomson's research have failed to explain how the positively charged sphere is shielded from the negatively charged electrons without getting neutralized. And this theory explains only about the protons and electrons and fail to explain the presence of neutral particle, that is neutron. So according to Thomson, he can able to explain only about the protons and electrons in an atom, and he does not able to bring about the content of neutral charged particle, that is said to be neutron. Now we shall move into the next topic, that is valency. So what is meant by valency? Yeah, the combining capacity of an atom is said to be valency. And what is said to be valence electron? In an atom, you may able to see electrons will be revolving around the atom, around the nucleus of an atom. That is, electrons will revolve around the nucleus of an atom, and the valence shell is said to be the outermost shell of an atom, and the valency or the valence orbit is said to be the electron which are present in the outermost shell is said to be the valence electrons. So valency is defined as the number of electrons lost or gained or shared by an atom during a chemical reaction is said to be is said to be the valency. And now we shall see the types of valency. So valencies are of two types, that is valency with respect to atom, and the second one will be the variable valency. So based upon the valency with respect to atom, it is of three types, that is valency with respect to hydrogen, and then valency with respect to chlorine, and valency with respect to oxygen. Now first we shall see valency with respect to hydrogen. I think you all know the atomic number of hydrogen. So what is the atomic number of hydrogen? Yes, it is 1. So in the atom of hydrogen, you may able to see only one electron in its shell. So hydrogen atom loses one electron in its outermost orbit. So its valency is taken as 1, and it is said to be the standard one. For example, you may able to see here for during the formation of hydrogen chloride molecule, the element chlorine will do have the valency as 1, because in the formula you will be able to see here H and Cl. So in this one you will be having only one electron, or you may able to see here 1 and 1 only. So the valency for chlorine will be 1 in this case. If you say for water molecule, so what is the molecular formula for water? H2O. So when you cross multiply, 2 will comes over here, and hence the valency for oxygen for water molecule will be 2. Similarly for ammonia, the molecular formula is NH3, and hence the valency for nitrogen in this example will be 3. Similarly for methane, it is 4. Next, coming to the valency with respect to chlorine. Since valency of chlorine is 1, the number of chlorine atoms with which one atom of an element can combine is called valency. So in case of sodium chloride molecule, one chlorine atom combines with one sodium atom. So the valency of sodium is 1. But in case of magnesium chloride, the molecular formula for magnesium chloride will be MgCl2. Valency for magnesium is 2, because it do combines with two chlorine atoms, right? And in case if you see for HCl, the valency for both the atoms will be 1 and 1 only. So valency with respect to chlorine, it depends upon to arrive the molecular formula for such compounds or for such molecules. And next, coming to valency with respect to oxygen. In another way, valency can be defined as double the number of oxygen atoms with which one atom of an element can combine, because valency of oxygen is 2. For example, in magnesium oxide, in case of magnesium oxide, the molecular formula for magnesium oxide will be MgO. In this case, the outermost shell will contain 2 electrons in both the elements, right? 2 and 2. So you'll be writing it as 2, 2. This is the outermost number of electrons in the outermost shell of these elements. So when you combine, or when you while writing the molecular formula for magnesium oxide, it will be MgO. So valency with respect to hydrogen, valency with respect to chlorine and oxygen we have seen. And next, coming to the variable valency. Atoms of some elements combine with atoms of other elements and form more than one product. Thus, they are said to have different combining capacity. These atoms have more than one valency. Some cations exhibit more than one valency. For example, copper element, it do combine with oxygen and it forms two different types of products. That is, one will be cuprous oxide and then another will be cupric oxide. In case of cuprous oxide, its molecular formula will be Cu2O. whereas in case of cupric oxide, the molecular formula will be CuO. So in case of Cu2O, the valency of copper is 1, and in CuO, valency of copper is 2. For lower valency, a suffix OUS is attached to at the end of the name of the metal. For higher valency, a suffix IC is attached at the end of the name of a metal. So here we can able to see here, for copper it will be cuprous, and then in case of Cu2 plus it will be cupric. Similarly for Fe2 plus the name will be ferrous. For Fe3 plus the name of the element will be ferric. Likewise, based upon the valency of those elements, the name of the such elements will be changed. For mercury it will be mercurous or mercuric depending upon the valency, and for tin it may be either stannous or stannic. So in our today's session we have seen two different topics. One will be the Thomson's atomic model and the second topic is valency. So in case of valency, it is based upon the electrons which are present in the outermost shell of an atom, right? Now let us move into today's home fun. Your first question, what are all the limitations of Thomson's atomic model? And the second question, define valency. And third question, write the valency for the following elements. First one, magnesium. Second question, chlorine. Third one, oxygen. The fourth question, hydrogen. And the fifth question, sodium. Thank you.